we're going to move on to something that won't take much time because neither of us are lawyers. But for your personal finance basic today, something to do, get an estate plan.
What's an estate plan?
It's a plan for your estate, Jerry.
It's what happens in the event of your death or incapacitation, right?
Yes. And just about everyone needs a will in some form or fashion, just about.
Correct.
Because if you don't, well, I guess even the argument could be if you don't have any, the number of people who don't need a will is so small, just get a will.
But an argument could be that, however, in that will you usually have some sort of healthcare power of attorney associated with you. It does matter regardless of what kind of wealth you have.
That is true.
And the younger you are, it's more likely that you're going to become incapacitated than that you're going to die. And so the last thing you want is to have the state making decisions about your demise or lack thereof. It's simple. It's very simple, and it allows you to then go along, live your life, and forget about it. A lot of people have this kind of, as I've experienced over the years in doing planning, some people have this apprehension because they think it's morbid and don't want it to deal with their mortality. I'll tell you what, more often than not, I've seen it. The people that deal with it, they go live long, happy lives, and there's no problem. The ones that don't are often the ones that get stuck or, didn't take care of it. And then something happens horrible. And oh my gosh, it's just a mess to unwind.
Well, for me, what stopped me from doing it was never morbidity or fear of my own death. It was just laziness.
Well, that too.
And not wanting to pay the money. And I say that even when one of my lawyers, one of my closest friends. But you have to get everything straightened out.
And you don't even, at the very least, write down a will. It doesn't necessarily even have to be with a lawyer. I mean, at the early stages, just make sure you write down something so that and give it to a family member or a group of the family members, just so that a number of them, so that they know what should happen in the event of your meeting an ill-fated circumstance.
Yes. Basically what you want to, as Jerry said, avoid the state making decisions about your health and your wealth. So an estate plan includes setting up healthcare power of attorney, your will, a trust, which is something that you should use before you die to live out of if you have everything properly constructed. And distance and mileage may vary. Your needs for these things may vary, but you're probably this is prudent for most people who have any assets or dependents to speak of and want to make things easier for the people who have to clean up the mess. And something else that needs to be said is, for those of us who are listening who happen to be Catholic, especially, make sure you appoint a power of attorney who is in line with Catholic teaching on these matters of life and death, because there are so many different gray areas and there are so many different contingencies. You can't possibly deal with all of them. The best thing you can do, if you have religious beliefs that really should be adhered to in terms of how you plan for your end of life, just get a faithful Catholic named as your healthcare power of attorney so they can use the prudence necessary to deal with the situation as it arises.
Amen.
Enough said.